what is your Xbox story? What pulled you towards the original Xbox? I've started to think about, you know, the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 2 was such a huge event. I couldn't wait to get it. I camped out for that PlayStation 2. And there were so many great games early on. And then throughout the life cycle of that system, there were just stellar games that came out on it. But then about midway or halfway through the PS2 generation, there was this rumor of the Xbox and Microsoft getting into console gaming. What would that mean? What would it be? Would it just be Microsoft and the old boring PC space, or would it be an actual console? They revealed it. I thought it looked amazing. I heard about some of the features like a hard drive. You mean no more memory cards? I heard about things like custom soundtracks. I heard about, a broadband modem. I had no clue what the hell was going on with that, but it was just next generational. It was something new. And then the games, the original IPs for the OG Xbox. And looking back, none of them really hit as hard as the big hitters for the PlayStation, but at the time, you couldn't get these games anywhere else. The identity of the Xbox was solid, and graphically, these games, albeit not as big, not as high profile as some of the games releasing on the PlayStation 2, they looked incredible. They were utilizing the Xbox system. We started to hear about words like bump mapping. Who the hell knew what bump mapping was? But you were getting it on the Xbox graphically. You were seeing things that supposedly you couldn't see anywhere else, and you know what? You didn't. So what drew me to the Xbox, the first game? Can you guess what it is? I'm going to let you see this game. I'm going to let you hear this game for a few seconds before I start talking about it. And it is... Can you believe it was Star Wars Obi-Wan? Looking back at this game, it was an awful Star Wars game, but at the time when I saw it, and I saw the graphics, and I saw the reflections in the floor, I couldn't believe it. Reflections in floors? Oh my god, the OG Xbox is a beast. I had to run out. I had to get it as a huge Star Wars fan and a huge nerd. I had to have Star Wars Obi-Wan, and you can control the lightsaber with the right stick. One of the worst decisions ever when it comes to controls, but I loved it at the time. It was wholly unique. It was Xbox centric. You couldn't get this game anywhere else, and my god, I played through it. It was glorious. The graphics, the sound, the soundtrack from the film, unbelievable. And fighting Darth Maul at the end, I was Obi-Wan. I was a Jedi. I was sold on the Xbox. And then the next game, what do you think it was? It was Azuric Rise of Parathia. This was a Zelda-like game. It was a huge open-world action-adventure with a character. It was third person. There was lore. There was a sense of adventure. There was a cool combat mechanic. There was almost RPG-like elements to this game. It was cinematic, the way the story was told. There was nothing like it, and graphically, again, it showcased why the original Xbox was so different from everything else on the market. I couldn't wait to get it. I played it, and you know what? I loved every second of it. It was unique, and again, it identified the Xbox as something different. Yes, the PlayStation 2 had higher profile games, but the new, the exciting, and the graphically intensive OG Xbox games were Star Wars Obi-Wan, Rise of Parathia. The way the story was told was incredible. I wish they did something with this IP. What was the next game? It was Brute Force. Who remembers Brute Force? Third third-person action-adventure game. This was almost like Mass Effect. You had two other squad mates that you could give commands to. They followed you through the story. The gunplay was great in third person. Each character had their own unique abilities as well that you can mix and match on the fly. I remember playing as the female with the red hair, and she can turn invisible. And then there was that lizard guy, the big green lizard guy. I forget what his power was. And then the big guy here had this like berserk ability where you just went crazy with this hand cannon. It was so much fun. And again, graphically, it was doing things that you couldn't get on other systems. I remember some of the marketing was around it was actually snowing in the level. Oh my god, snow. And at times it would lightly stick to the ground and then of course disappear because of the limitations of the CPU. But all those graphical effects happening on screen, the Xbox had the identity of being the box with the most power, and these early games were pushing to showcase that. Again, brute force. I remember this. I remember I couldn't wait to play it. Ran out and got it along with the other two games that I've already talked about. It was so good. So much fun. I wish, again, that this IP evolved into something much better. But a lot of the mechanics in this game were borrowed for other games and are still used now. What is the next game? This game, Otogi, is absolutely incredible. And again, wholly unique to the original Xbox. Unbelievable character animation, unbelievable world, levels of destruction that you could not get on another system. Again, a game that completely and totally identified the Xbox as a step above other systems in terms of performance, in terms of what creators could do when they were given tools that were much better than anything else they had in that generation. This game was so much fun, so unique. Again, heavily story-driven, third person, just a joy to play this game. And again, it was unique to Xbox. It gave Xbox an identity. And it is a phenomenal game. Look at this game here now. It's unbelievable looking even now. Look at the animation of the scarf in the wind. Look how smooth the combat is and the lock-on. Just look at the world. This is running on the OG Xbox. Come on! Unbelievable. So this, in addition to the other games, drew me to the original Xbox with all the features that it had. And the most important feature for any system is the games, and these were all unique experience for the Xbox. And of course, Halo Combat Evolved. Now, this game being better than all the other ones, yes, it had great gameplay, yes, it had a cool central character, a cool world, but this game, in addition to all the other games that I talked about here in this video, created this huge narrative around the Xbox being this hardcore box. You were getting these games that you couldn't get anywhere else. Graphically, they couldn't run on any other console but the original Xbox. They talked about the power of it. They talked about creators using that power. It was an exciting time. And they had content that was unique and fun and exciting. And of course, Halo was the game that helped the Xbox stick around with all that stiff competition from the PlayStation 2. But these were some of the games that I remember pulling me into the original Xbox, having to run out and buy one, and then ever since buying every Xbox as it comes out within every generation. What were the games that drew you to the original Xbox? Let me know in the comments section below. Do you agree with some of these games? Do you agree that Star Wars Obi-Wan was the game over Halo? I know most of you don't, but for me, I had to have it, and then it led me to all these other great experiences. And of course, like, subscribe, share this video out on your favorite social media platform of choice, and again, just let me know what your story was with the original Xbox. Why did you get one when the PlayStation 2 was so popular and had so many games? What was it that pulled you to that original system? Was it a game? Was it a feature? Just let me know in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next. video.